Shalom. First off, I want to start off by giving all the glory, infinite praise, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that do rule and teach well. Peace, love, and salutation to the hopeful elect that is, teaching this truth across the four corners of the earth. All right. Giving deals just to make their call and election sure. Shalom. This is your brother Hashah from the Great Millstone Savannah Camp, coming back in the spirit with another lesson. Lord willing, I pray and hope that it's edifying and exhorting. All right, and I wanted to do this video. I was watching the elder earlier. He played this clip of CK's funeral. All right, and this guy Stephen Miller, right? Basically, um, really uh, putting it on the forefront of what this whole scenario is about, whether it's true or false. Um, Esau is a narrative controller, okay? And so now, they're painting CK as, their Jesus character, right? He was a martyr for, you know, conservative Christian white people, all right, so-called white people who are Edomites according to the Bible, right? So now, this white, Christian movement, everybody got up there and said the same thing, Project Mockingbird, basically. And, basically, the agenda is clear, all right? And you can tell when you listen to this guy right here, all right? And we've been telling, the apostles, nobody else is talking about what is really actually taking place, right? And we've been telling you what was going to take place for a while, you know. Um, the Elder Yashawama, he always goes into Second Thessalonians, the ninth chapter, which is pretty much the basis of this lesson, right? Um, Esau is tapping into that pseudoscience, right? He knows that he has but a short time on the earth, all right, to rule. So he's tapping in to that pseudoscience, right? And just play this video.
The day that Charlie died, the angels wept, but those tears have been turned into fire in our hearts. And that fire burns with a righteous fury that our enemies cannot comprehend or understand. When I see Erica and her strength and her courage, I'm reminded of a famous expression. The storm whispers to the warrior that you cannot withstand my strength. And the warrior whispers back, I am the storm. Erica is the storm. We are the storm. And our enemies cannot comprehend our strength, our determination, our resolve, our passion. Our lineage and our legacy hails back to Athens.
Now, this is where he starts to, basically go into the lineage, right? Which, Herod was a Edomite, right? During the time of Yahushua, the Romans were ruling over Jerusalem, okay? And where is Athens? That's the capital of Rome. Okay, so he's telling you, you know, that he is Esau Edom. You know, this is our lineage. This is where we come from. They're tapping back into that spirit. Um, and who is the enemy that he's talking about? He's speaking about. He's speaking about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, right? And those that are on your side, right? Because what's about to take place is, a black swan event, and the Egyptian it will be set against the Egyptian. Okay, Salakia. It's late. Been a long day, but hey, I'm gonna keep playing this video.
Rome, to Philadelphia, to Monticello. Our ancestors built the cities. They produced the art and architecture. They built the industry. Erica stands on the shoulders of thousands of years of warriors, of women who raised up.
So I'm gonna Salakia, I just want to pause it right there. And I'm gonna, make this obvious statement, but uh, the so-called white man did not build civilization, right? He did not civilize civilization, okay? Everything that he learned and everything that he gained and he got it from the Israelites, the tribes, right? And if he didn't get it from the tribes, then he stole it, but he still stole it. You know what I mean? So, um, he has not built anything. If anything, uh, you know, he stole. Okay, he is that robber, that vagabond, that thief. Okay, let's keep going on this.
Families, raised up city, raised up industry, raised up civilization, who pulled
Yeah,
us out of the chaos.
yeah. See, they claim that they raised up civilization, right? Um, but it was, like I said, man, he really inherited uh, a world that was built by the Israelites. When you look at these different empires, they were all built on the backs of the Israelites, man, on slave labor, right? And even when we weren't in captivity, we had our own civilizations, right? We um had libraries, we had record keepings, right? We were not this primitive, you know, race of people that he likes to paint, right? That they like to paint, right? And this is a part of the pseudoscience. The pseudoscience is, um, matter of fact, just let's get what pseudoscience is. Let's start with Second Thessalonians, right? Chapter 2 and verse. I'm gonna start at 5. It says, "Remember not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time." And the he is speaking about Esau Edom. All right, you know, self-proclaimed, right? It says, "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work," right? Meaning that, um, during that time, iniquity was already being, framed. Okay, it was already in the earth through Esau Edom, through his rulership, the Roman rulership. It says, "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work," right? Um, only he, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So uh, the Lord is allowing Esau, Edom, to, be his sword, be his hammer to take peace from the earth, right? As it says in Revelation, okay, to take peace from the earth. It says, verse 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord will consume with the spirit of his mouth and destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power, signs, and lying wonders. Now let's get this word lying wonders, right? Lying, right? When you go into lying, it goes into a lie. It says conscious and intentional falsehood. Okay, so this is a conscious and intentional falsehood, right? When you go into how they painted over our images, well, that's a conscious and intentional falsehood, right? That's pseudoscience. Okay, that's pseudos. It says a perverse of a broader sense, whatever is not what it seems to be, a perverse, impetuous, deceitful precepts, right? And this is what this man is, tapping back into. He's back into spewing, all right, that they built civilization, that they civilized everything, right? That they are the top of the uh, primordial, what do you say, pyramid, right? That they're the epicenter of knowledge and wisdom. They are the light bearers, right? Um, he is Lucifer, very much so. Okay, he is illuminated, the illuminated one. He has the light. So he claims this is his proclamation. Okay, he has self-proclaimed himself to be white, meaning innocent, meaning not guilty, meaning pure. But contrary to him naming himself, putting that on his, putting that label, proclaiming that. All right, guess what? It's pseudos. It's pseudoscience. There's nothing that backs up that claim, like the elder uh, Manatazakba said. We need to run a background check, right? If you running a background check on Esau Edom for rulership, what would you find, right? And you would find rape, robbery, murder, theft, deceit. You would find these things there, man. Okay, but he, here in his kingdom, he gets to sit at the moral head of morality, right? After all that he's done in the earth. So
who pulled us out of the caves and the darkness into the light. The light will defeat the dark. We will prevail over the forces of wickedness and evil. They cannot imagine what they have awakened.
right, and they're labeling themselves good, and they're labeling you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans evil. The same way those Palestinians, the small hats are doing the Palestinians, man. They're trying to say that this is their destiny. This is tapping back into that God gold and glory. Okay. So but it says who's working is after, Satan, man. This is when you look into the earth, who is doing that? Right? Who is the one doing that? Right? Um I wanted to get this. This is Daniel chapter 7 in the Message Bible, right? It says, as I was staring at the horns, this is verse 8. Matter of fact, I'm going to start at verse 7. It says, after that, a fourth animal appeared in my dream. This one was a grisly, horror, hideous, right? Um, It had huge iron teeth and crunched and swallowed its victims. Anything left over it trampled into the ground. It was different from all the other animals. This one was a real monster. All right, and this is how Esau presents himself, right, as a real monster, right? He is the boogeyman, right? He is to be feared in the earth. This is the image that he's given himself. When you hear Trump talk to these different delegates, these the way he talked to Zelensky from Ukraine, right? He is talking as one who is a monster, who has taken, by brute force, right? It said it had 10 horns, and this is going into, of course, the European Economic Community that was started, uh, I believe, back during the time of the Renaissance era. Um, I believe like what 1700s, early 1700s, 1800s. All right, and you can look up the history on that, the 7 horns. All right, it says as I was staring at the horns and trying to figure out what they meant, another horn sprouted up, a little horn. Three of the original horns were pulled out and made room for it, and these three horns representing the British, the Spanish, and the Portuguese, I believe. What is it? The British, the Spanish, and the French. Slovakia. Yeah, the French. Okay. Um, it says there were human eyes on in this little horn and a big mouth speaking arrogantly, and this is what Slovakia. All right, this is what they're doing now. They're boasting in their scientific racism, right? In their pseudoscience. All right, now, um, I asked ChatGPT. Let's see if I can get it. I asked him, "What is pseudoscience?" Pseudoscience is any set of beliefs, claims, practices that present themselves as scientific, but do not follow the methods and standards of actual science. Right? It says lack of evidence relies on uh, an anecdotes, anecdotes, um, testimonies, and unverified claims rather than controlled experiments and reproducible results. Right? Unfalsifiable cannot be tested or proven wrong. For example, claims that shift whenever evidence contradicts them. Right? And this whole uh, climate nonsense, right? That's pseudoscience, and they're going to use it um, against the people. Even the the Jewish fables, or um, the small hats saying them, claiming to be the children of the Lord, right? That's pseudoscience. It's bullshit. All right. It says ignores the scientific method, does not use peer review, proper experimentation, or critical testing, right? And that's what this guy CK, he was big on, just quoting facts. Well, what are the underlying factors of that experiment, right? Of the experiment that Esau put upon these so-called Negroes. Now they're saying, "Oh, well, these people are evil." Well, what did you do? What? How are you? Who are you to say that they're evil? right? After you've broken 400 treaties and enslaved, it says appeals to belief or authority. And this is most people are getting played on, right? Now, I want to go into, let me ask, how is pseudoscience connected to scientific racism, right? Now, I think I asked this before. It says scientific racism as pseudoscience. Scientific racism claimed that some races were biologically superior to others. This is where you get Darwinism and um, I forget what the other guy is. All right, but the belief that you're superior to others, right? Even though your actions, none of your history has shown that you're superior, in any other way but by the sword. It says it often uses biased measures like skull size, facial angles, or IQ tests, right? A lot of people like to talk about that IQ, right? The intelligence quotient to prove inequality, right? To prove themselves to be better. Well, the IQ test is made by and controlled by the same people that control the system. It says these methods look scientific but lack proper controls of objectivity and um, reproducibility, Salakia, hallmark of pseudoscience, right? Uh, it says, I'm gonna just skip down to why it matters. It says these pseudoscience claims shape policies. This is the danger, right? You want to talk about spewing this rhetoric. These are the dangers that come with it: immigration restrictions, eugenics, segregation laws, right? These things oppress people, right? So Esau is running the same play, right? He's running the same play. So he's gonna tap into this scientific racism, right, and come up with those draconian laws, right? The immigration is already there. Eugenics is already there, right? When these people took the C-19, that's a big part of it. Um, it says modern science has thoroughly rejected them, but remnants still influence stereotypes and discrimination today. So, in short, scientific racism is one of the clearest historical examples of pseudoscience being weaponized to serve social and political agendas. And that's what's taking place, man, with this whole CK thing, man. The devil knows that his time is short, man. That his time is short. Let's get that, and we can end off right there. All right. Um, Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. So, this is what they're, boasting themselves in, right? Their history, all right, and that this CK is a martyr for their agenda, for their movement, which is pseudoscience, okay? And, this is going to lead to the persecution of the saints, is going to lead to the dismantling, which is already being dismantled, all right, but constitutional rights, so-called constitutional rights, are going to be dismantled, you know. We're heading into the time of persecution and tribulation, and so, Lord willing, this was edifying and exhorting. All right, I want to end off by giving all the glory, infinite praise, and honor unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Hakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace, love, and salutation to the hopeful elect that is out there pushing this truth in all sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Give me diligence to make your call and of election sure. Shalom.